Hi, this is Yankee Springs Hike with Michigan Bigfoot Reports in Barry County, Michigan on 10/11/22. Hi, I'm bringing you the last stretch of hike that I filmed here in between Deep Lake and Hall Lake in the Yankee Springs recreation area, which is about 17,000 acres, and it's connected to about 28,000 acres of state land. And I go hiking in through these different parts of the woods on no particular trails whatsoever. I'm going to save that hike for later. Some of the hills are pretty big, up to about 1,250 feet back there, and numerous of them going to go up 90-degree angles. I'll show you that in another video. I'll show you the shortest part here in green. This green is where I'm on the last stretch back to where I had parked, and I'm going to give you a few reports along the way. I'm doing this short video because I've got a couple other videos in the works yet, and one for Evart that I'm still having to go up there and look through the microfiche at that museum up there. I'm hoping to go up to Evart next week and look for that last piece of evidence I need, and then I can put the video together and bring it to you. This report located in Calhoun County, Michigan. Report number 23929, Class A, submitted by witness on Monday, June 2nd, 2008. Dusk sighting by two women near Three Lakes. Year 1970. Season fall, month September, state Michigan, county Baraga County. Nearest town between Three Lakes and Tioga. Nearest road, Highway 41. Observe, the following is a letter written to the Mining Journal in May of 2008. Bigfoot ? Loch Ness ? A few weeks ago, on our Sunday editorial page, ran a letter in reference to Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, etc. The following is a letter written to the Mining Journal on May of 2008. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster ? A few weeks ago in your Sunday editorial page, you ran a letter in reference to Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, etc., which I am sure some people might think of as out of the question for anywhere in the U.S., let alone the Great Upper Peninsula. Well, I have an honest-to-God true story to tell, and then let your readers decide how possibly there might be a Bigfoot in our very own area. One night, about 38 years ago, my sister-in-law and I went to visit a friend in Three Lakes. On our way home I was driving, and not but a few miles from our friend's home, which was on the highway, upon the horizon, to the left, this massive white creature came to the top of the hill, and we looked at each other in disbelief as what we were seeing. We said to one another, "Oh my God, what the heck is that?" We freaked out. I slowed some and kept on looking at this huge white furry creature looking down towards us. We just kept on repeating to ourselves what we were just seeing. I can understand some people saying, "Oh yeah, they were drinking." Well, maybe so, but we all drank numerous cups of coffee as we visited our friend. As we drove in a rather hurried pace, rather shook up, we sped up. Unknown to myself at the time, I had just passed a police car and didn't realize it until we saw the emblem on the door. My sister-in-law said, "Oh my gosh, we just passed a cop to boot." We kept on talking all the way home, wondering and questioning ourselves to what we saw, and if it was possible that it was truly a giant white furry Bigfoot, as we call it. We have told numerous people about our story, and everyone kind of just says, "Yeah, right," and laughed at us. But we'll stake our lives in the story, and when we'll go to our graves knowing what we just saw was a Bigfoot. Follow-up investigation report by BFRO investigator B.G. Martin. The Mining Journal is Marquette's major newspaper and the largest paper in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I was able to contact the submitter of the letter, and we talked on the phone for an hour. She was very clear and expressive about the event. Her voice still sounded with emotion, telling her experience when she was 20 and her sister-in-law was 21. We also spoke to her sister-in-law, who was the other witness in the event. On a day early in the month of September in 1970, they were traveling westbound on Highway 41, going home after visiting with some friends. They had just gathered together because their husbands were going on an expedition to Alaska. It was a clear day, and it was still light out, and it was around sunset. While driving between 3 lakes in Tioga, the driver noticed something cresting the hill on the south side of the road. She stopped her car and backed up to get a better view. The subject was now standing still on the top of the hill. It was standing on 2 legs, facing them and watching them. It had silver, whitish fur. It was from 7 to 8 feet tall, but she couldn't tell because it was standing on top of the hill. It looked big, she said, and long hair all over its body. The hair was layered, hanging all over its hands, face, and eyes. She said it looked like the character Chewbacca from the movie Star Wars. It was one big flowing fur. It looked human, but it was also too big to be human. She couldn't be sure about any of the details in the face because of the fur and the distance they viewed it at. She feels they viewed it at about 100 to 150 feet for about 30 seconds. They became unnerved and left and continued home.
This looks like a place where one would just run out across the path in front of you. There's so much cover over there.
I spoke to the second woman for half an hour on the phone. She was just as clear about the facts and circumstances surrounding the experience. She owns and runs a healthcare company now, and it was difficult to get time with her to speak to her on the phone. I asked her about the people making light of her claims, and she said that she didn't care what they thought. We saw what we saw. We didn't ask to see it. She said they were stone cold sober, and they had been drinking coffee the whole time while visiting with her friends.
Not going to Deep Lake.
Despite the amount of time that was passed and the distance of the sighting, an artist agreed to work with the witnesses. The sketched image was made with the witnesses' input. She wasn't sure how the hair covered the face, if the subject hair was growing out of the face, or if the hair were hung down from the head. The sketch artist made a judgment call in this case. Here's the art. This first report is in Baraga County, up in the UP of Michigan. This report located in Calhoun County, Michigan. This report being a little bit closer to me, the number's 20423. It's a Class A sighting submitted by witness on Sunday, July 22nd, 2007 by 2 teenagers in the woods near Albion, Michigan. The year 1979. The season is fall. The month is October. It's approximately the 18th, the state of Michigan and Calhoun County. Location details: Albion north of I-94, 29-mile road just north of H Drive, behind the schoolhouse on the right, behind the swamp and the apple orchard. Nearest town is Albion, and the nearest road is 29-mile road north. Observed. This was October, just after my birthday. It was getting chilly in the late afternoon. My friend and I were bored, so we decided to go walking around the woods adjacent to my house, which was a one-room schoolhouse my stepdad was remodeling. We did these walks often, looking for cool places to build forts or just exploring. This time, we went further back through an old apple orchard. That's when it happened. As we were walking, we both noticed it was really quiet. No sounds of birds or animals. Nothing at all. We were a little amazed at the silence. Then the wind picked up a little, and it blew the leaves around. There were still a lot of leaves in the trees. The leaves blowing around broke the silence, so we started moving on. I had gotten this weird feeling of being watched, I told my friend. He said he had it too. At that moment, we both heard this loud thumping crunch. I said, "Did you hear that?" He nodded yes, afraid to talk because it was loud and close, probably about 50 feet away. It was like something had stomped on the ground. I said it sounded like it came from over there, trending in the direction of the noise. We both saw this big, upright animal covered in hair. It immediately moved into the deep brush in the trees while making this deep kind of throated noise like, "Ugh." All we could see was the back 3/4 of the way up the stomach, the butt and the left leg going through the brush. It wasn't crouching, it was upright, like it was walking by. I started running, not thinking of my friend. I ran as fast as I could back to my house, about 350 feet away, through dense brush and swamp and a trail. When I got back to the house and I had stopped, my friend was right there, which surprised me because I thought I could run faster than him. The thing's leg was at least as tall as me. I was about 5'4" at 14 years old. It was dark reddish brown with some gray and about 3 to 4 inches long. The fur was super thick. Its leg was thicker than my body. Out of the blue, my friend recently visited me. We haven't seen each other since high school, and we're both in our 40s now. The second thing he asked me was, "Do you remember what we saw behind our house?" I told him, "Yeah, we saw a damn Bigfoot. I don't think we've ever run so fast or so strong since, not even when I was in the Marines. Since then, I've been always watchful for these critters." And the notes at the bottom, he writes, "Also noticed deep impressions in ground, trees broken, loud screams before and after. At time, thought screams were owls. I know better now. Other witnesses, my friend and I, name removed per witness. We just were walking around. Stepfather has since passed away. Other stories. Haven't heard anyone else reporting anything in this immediate area," he writes. Time and conditions around 4 to 5 p.m. Getting dark weather, was fair, overcast. It had rained for a couple days prior. And he notes on the environment, apple orchard that was abandoned and overgrown with a lot of sumac trees, choke cherry, thick brush bordering a swamp, and an old one-room schoolhouse. Follow-up investigation report, BFO investigator Eric Lester. I spoke to the witnesses by phone and found him to be very sincere about his ordeal. Not many more details can be added to the report. When he saw the creature, he noticed that it was walking away from him, leaning forward, walking into some brush and trees. He knew it wasn't a bear or moose, and based upon that, what he's seen, he later estimated it to stand near 9 feet tall. Also noted that the impressions later found in the soil were 2.5 to 3 inches deep, while no impressions were made by the witnesses or the others with him. He had also heard some heavy bipedal walking in the same area on another occasion. That's the end of the report. Alright, since that report's done, I'll end this video here shortly because I get pretty close to the truck and just get in the truck. I shut the camera off before I get there. I got to get back to work on all these other videos that I've got going here also, and since this is the last part of the hike, there was a couple hours more of video before this going up some big hills. I'll have that video up soon, and some from Evart and a couple other spots too. Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Appreciate it.